and thanks so much for joining me for this Get Ready With Me featuring my Sephora haul. Thank you so much for tuning into the haul. If you saw that, I showed close-ups and swatches of everything, and today we are trying it all on. I'll also be sharing with you my second order. I placed a second order from the Sephora sale, so you'll know what to look for in the future for close-ups and swatches, as well as a few items I am watching because they have been out of stock. But if they come back into stock before the sale is over, I will order those. But let's go ahead and get started with a Get Ready With Me. We're gonna go ahead and start with the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Primer. We're gonna go in though with the Ilia True Skin Serum Foundation. This is in the shade Bowen, and I also think I figured out my shade in the other foundation. I'll actually talk about that towards the end. So you can see here the tone. I'm gonna take my Shiseido brush, which I know many of you already picked up from previous sales. Let me know if you picked it up from this sale. And I liked that this had skincare benefits, so that's why I was really interested in this. It has niacinamide. Okay, so this is my second pump on the side. So it does go on a little bit more sheer. I believe it's a medium coverage foundation. It reminds me a little bit of this No. 1 de Chanel. Actually, let me swatch this. So the Ilia is here. This is the Chanel foundation. The Ilia is a thinner consistency. I think you can see here as well. It's a little bit more translucent than even the No. 1 de Chanel, and this is BD41. So you can see that this shade in Bowen is peachier than BD41. Really nice color match in the center of my face. You can still see some darkness coming through. I'll try and build it up a little bit. So it looks as though you can build it up a little bit. Oh, my eyes are red today, which is a little unusual for me. But I'm just looking here. Yeah, I think I would just build up with concealer versus trying to build this foundation up. Where did it go? It's right here. I have so many things open here in front of me. I do want to show you half and half though. Okay, let me even these out. Okay, and in this case, a little doesn't go a long way. I'm having to go in with a couple of pumps here. Might need a little bit more of this foundation for it to really do a nice job of evening out. You can see the difference between building up and not building up. I'm just gonna go in with concealer to take care of that, I think. Yeah, I like the texture with a thinner layer. Yeah, it looks better with a thinner layer. Okay, I'm gonna go in with the YSL Touche Éclat for the under eye area. This is also more lightweight than my typical concealer, which is the, ooh, that's a lot, which is the Sisley. I have been playing around with this though, just to see what it could do. It's more of the no makeup, a little less perfected, but I also know that's appealing to some people. So just know it's a lighter weight, more sheer than say the Sisley. It does a pretty good job of not creasing. You just have to go gentle with this. If you put too much though, I think you're gonna see that there is makeup. It'll be more obvious. And this is the All Hours Concealer that I mentioned for these dark spots. So funny, I just out of habit add it to the upper lip area because I had discoloration there before. If you purchased the topicals faded, just know it takes time. Probably will take longer than you expect it to take. And then make sure to wear SPF. So all the progress that I've made, I make sure to protect it by preventing any further discoloration, by applying sunscreen. I wear hats outside all the time. I'm really careful with my skin. And for my last Sephora shopping, I actually decided to go with a different SPF based on some things that I'm learning more along the way about SPF. I'm gonna go in the corners, outer corners. I need something a little bit more pigmented, a little bit more dense here on the exterior. Next Generation Eye Base by CHANTECAILLE in medium. Okay, let's go in with a powder. This is the oh gosh, I still don't know how to pronounce this, SAIE powder. It's the Air Set in Translucent. When I swatched this, I noticed it had a more reflective quality than I guess I was expecting. And I had a question to please compare this to the RODIAL, which I love, the glass powder. And we're going to use my Lumiere brush because it's nice and fluffy and I just want to do a dusting of powder here, not too much. I'm gonna do half here. Okay, it has a nice glow to it. You know what it reminds me a little bit of, I don't have as much experience with it, but I did try it, is that Kogan dough powder with the swirls in it. Reminds me a little bit of that, and that has a reflective property about it. I'm gonna go in with the glass powder as well. I have it right here, the RODIAL glass powder. And this one, at first I thought, well, this doesn't have anything reflective in it, although I looked a little bit closer and it does have the slightest amount of reflective quality. Let me get a brush and let's just dust it on. Let's see if we can see a difference. I have to say this SAIE seems to be a little bit more translucent. You can see this added a little bit of a tone to my face. Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting to try these side by side. This is quite pretty, actually. I'm gonna have to see how these perform. I'm gonna even them out just because I wanna see how this one looks all over the face, my new powder. So I'm gonna take my Mercier brush and let's put that all over. But I like the way it looks. It looks nice. I wondered too if this was more like this CHANTECAILLE Candlelight powder. This one is more translucent, I'm noticing, but the RODIAL, this one right here, has a more perfected appearance to it and is somehow more reflective. Yeah, I'm still liking the glass powder side. This one doesn't have the same surface kind of perfection to it. Gucci eyebrow pencil. Show Pump and Brow. I'm gonna go in with this Grwm bronzer. I filmed something with the other Grwm bronzer that I had because at the time this one was sold out. Actually, let me just apply this and I'll talk at the same time. I filmed the new Dior Riviera palette video and that's ready to go. It's just not widely available. I don't even know what happened to the highlighter at this point. I can't even find that online, so I thought I would wait to post that when those things are available. I know it's frustrating to see something that you want to purchase and then it's not available. So that's ready to go as soon as those items are available for purchase more widely. They're available, I think, at Saks on pre-order, but yeah, I don't know what happened on the Dior site. I don't see them anymore. They were only there for a couple of days. So I did use the other Grwm Terracotta bronzer in 03 medium, just to show you what that looks like as well. But I think this is back in stock because this was out of stock and then I just looked and it's back in stock. This is the Grwm brush that I'm using. I don't think it's available at Sephora, but I'll list, I think, oh gosh, I can't remember. I did see it at another site. For the eye, I'm going to build the shape first, but this is a by Terry eyeliner in Bronze Generation. So we're gonna do that first, and then we'll go in with a Tom Ford eye product. I'm going to tightline, go in the waterline, make a kitten wing, and go underneath as well. So here it is in the waterline. Okay, let's go ahead with this Tom Ford Cream Duo, and we've got this bronze shade, which is beautiful. And if you're gonna ask me about my nails, these are the static nails because I like the look of powder dip, but my nails are already so fragile. So I'm going with these and they seem to be working out. I've actually worn them in 3 different videos now. I'm trying out different shades and different styles. This is French manicure. I will leave the information below. I think you can get them at Nordstrom. They'll probably end up in a favorites as soon as I figure out which ones are my favorites, but just know there's a learning curve with these. I glued my own fingers together when I tried this. Gosh, not even the first time. It was like the second time I wasn't paying attention. So just be aware that there is a learning curve with these. But so far, this is the easiest shape. I think it's a round shape that I got. And they're all a little bit different. They're not completely uniform. Yeah, I'll let you know which colors and shapes I liked the best or which were easiest to work with, and some application tips in case you're interested. And these don't sit on your nails. They really are flush with the nail, which I like. So they don't look completely artificial. So you can do that, but I'm gonna add a little bit of this shimmery part as well. This top lid has this shimmery part in it. It looks a little bit cool, the goldy bronze shade. I'm just gonna pat that on. Really easy eye. I'm gonna add some mascara. Let's see how it's looking. I went in with the YSL mascara, and I think I said this is the Lash Clash mascara. I think I said it in the other video that I don't know when that's gonna go up now, that someone asked me how I like this, and I said that it's one of those mascaras that if I was out of town and I forgot to pack my Faux Seal Longest Lash Mascara by Chantecaille, I would go to Sephora and pick that one up. That's the level of how much I like it. It's a really nice one, but it doesn't compete with a Holy Grail mascara like Faux Seal Longest Lash, but it's very nice. It builds volume and length really well. I also don't notice any flaking or anything like that with this mascara. It just takes a little bit longer to build up. Oh, I just want to take, I can't find my ROEN eye brush, the two-sided one that I love so much. No, I don't see it. I don't know where it went. It's here somewhere. So I'm going to take this, it's an IT Cosmetics brush that I've had for a long time. Oh, okay, it's very soft, this cream though, so be careful, because I put this brush in there and it moved it around that much. That's how it's not that dense, or as dense as I would think it would be. But I do want to take a brush and just build a crease a little bit more strategically. So I'm taking this brush so you can see, yeah, it's a little bit more precise this way. By the way, the video I keep talking about the Dior Riviera palette's really beautiful. Let me know if you want to see it before it's available, because I can work it into the schedule. Let me know. So there's the eye. Oh yeah, let's just clean up the edges. As much as I like that YSL, that's why I'm gonna go in with Clay de Peau. It just has the best density to it, this concealer. It's really very nice. So I'm gonna just clean up the edges with this. Nothing compares to this concealer either. This is in the shade Mocha. Let's go in with blush. Actually, I'm glad I stopped for a moment. I'm gonna show you the blushes side by side and then we'll show them, can I show them layered that way? Well, kind of. So let's go in with this. This is the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer Blush. I went to the store today to look again to see if there were any other shades that I wanted, but they were almost all gone. So a lot of you must have picked this up. This is the shade Coastline. There was another shade that looked really pretty, but I just thought it would sit on my skin, just the way it was sitting on my hand, but this one melted in so nicely. Oh, this is a Clay de Peau blush brush. Really great one for creams and liquid blushes. Yeah, this does a nice job of applying the color without disturbing the makeup underneath. So there's that. I'm going to show you the Valentino blush, which I wish they had in person because I would love to see more of the shades. It's really difficult to determine online what these shades really look like. So let me know if you have this, which one is a little bit cooler. I'm looking for like a cool pink version. And again, I tried this on with the Dior palette and it works really well with that Dior Riviera palette. So if you have other makeup that you're worried about moving around and you really like a cream blush like I do, but then it's a little bit trickier in the front because I'm always trying to make sure I don't disturb this. This is a really beautiful one because it definitely doesn't disturb it. It is a little bit creamier, yet it's not a liquid blush either. So here's the Laura Mercier. I think it's a really great no makeup look because it doesn't have anything reflective in it. At least this one doesn't. Some of them do though. This one does not, but it just melts into the skin, looks really natural. So that's why I love this one. I think I would wear this with a little bit of concealer and then just apply this. I think that would be really pretty. But this is just gorgeous, the Valentino blush. So let me know if you have any Valentino blushes, what else I should pick up. And I really don't think there's another shade I should pick up in this Laura Mercier. I don't know. Let me know if there's another shade. So Laura Mercier, liquid, and then we've got the Valentino. So now, of course, we're gonna layer. So I'm taking the Valentino blush and I'm going to apply it on top of this Laura Mercier. So I think the powder really just perfects it. But then that liquid or the cream blush intensifies it, makes it look like it's more natural as part of the skin. So you can see the difference. You've got the glow of the Valentino, yet the intensity of something like a cream or liquid blush. And then over here is what it looks like without the Laura Mercier underneath. So now I've got to even them out. So let me try and add the Laura Mercier over here and then add the Valentino on top. I don't worry about adding liquid products on top of powder products because I don't add that much powder anyway. So it's usually fine. And I do stipple just because I'm really careful about this concealer I've already applied. I don't want it to move around too much. Now, Perfect Blur Powder by Chantecaille. I'm going to take a little bit of that blur powder and just soften these ends here as well. Just going to go in between. It just softens that line a little bit more. That's what I love Perfect Blur Powder for. It helps to blur edges as well. Let's go in with the lip. This was a recommendation from you. Thank you so much. Actually, a couple of these. Two at least were recommendations. One was a request. And this is the Grwm in shade 25. And this is a satin finish. Let's see. Are my lips dry? Well, let's see. Let's see how this works. They're a little bit dry. Okay. And then I have this case from, gosh, a while ago. It's the one that's like a marbleized. I don't know if they still have it, but I will include it because you only get this part when you order the lip shade, and then you have to order a case with the mirror. Wow. This is a difficult thing to work with sometimes, reds. So I'm going to take a Q-tip here and just run that on the edge just so we can soften that a little. Okay, I also had questions about highlighter. So there are a few options for those who don't like a lot of highlighter. There's the Merit Stick. Let me see if I can show these on my arm. And this is the one in Cava. It's very subtle. That's the blush there. So you can see it kind of stains. Then I have this one by Westman Atelier. This is in Nectar, really lovely. Actually, I'm gonna apply this one today for you. This one is also quite natural, but more dewy. So there's Nectar. So you've got here again, Cava, Nectar. Cava seems to dry down a little bit more than Nectar. And then we have here, and I'll show you this, if you are cool toned, then you might like this one. This one is in Lit Up, and it was the original, you can see here. It's the one that came before Nectar. It has more of that unicorn glow to it though. So you've gotta like that, more of that like violet hue to it. Let's see, can you catch, I'm trying to catch that in the light there. You can see they're all quite subtle, which is why I'm probably having a hard time showing up here. And then we've got, I pulled one more. Oh, I pulled this Westman Atelier just because it says it's a highlighter, but I use it more as a kind of a neutral glowy blush. It's the Peau de Pesche. It's this one right here. So this is Peau de Pesche. So those are some options for more subtle highlighters if you were looking for a subtle highlighter. The Westman Atelier and Nectar. Let me just use my clean hands here. Are they clean? I feel like I still have some makeup stain here. Take a little bit of that and just dot on. But it does maintain like a dewiness about it. So just know there is a dewiness to this. Okay, let's do Cava on the other side, just so you can see the difference. So that's Westman Atelier's Nectar. I'm gonna go directly with this, just because it's not as dewy. It's more of that champagne shade too, and it dries down more. I think this is how they talked about it. It's more like a gloss. There you go. It's more like a cheek gloss texture versus this Cava, which dries down. And since Cava is a little bit easier to work with, I'm gonna just run that on the bridge of my nose. As promised, I will share the items in my second Sephora haul that is on the way. But first, a few things that I'm watching. I got my hair colored and trimmed today, and I was talking again with my stylist about the Dyson wrap system. Is that what it's called? The Dyson Airwrap, that whole system. And he convinced me I should pick it up because I'm always looking for ways to get volume at the crown. And he said the one attachment that looks like a wand can actually do that as you dry your hair. So I thought that would make a lot of sense for me because I'm always struggling to get volume up on top here. And I use a round brush and the Dyson hairdryer. Now, if I didn't already have the Dyson hairdryer, it would have made a lot of sense just to pick up that entire system because there is a dryer included in it. But what I'm most interested in is that wand because he said it would dry my hair and give me volume at the same time, and it would be a faster process compared to what I'm already doing. So I really wanted to pick it up. Now I went to go look at Sephora online and it is sold out. So I'm watching that to see if that comes back in stock before the sale is over. Now I really want to try it. He said it would work for me because I don't like to spend a lot of time on my hair. He thought that would be a great solution for me. So on the next sale, I definitely want to try it. Let me know if you picked it up, but I'm watching that one. The next thing I'm watching is the Tom Ford Duo. I should have picked it up when I had the chance. I don't know why I waited so long, and then when I went to order it, it wasn't there. The first thought I had though was that it's not going to show up on my skin. And then I know some of you had questions about the very same thing. Is it going to show up on my skin tone? Because it looks rather light, but photos are really hard to tell how deep or how light a product actually is until you try it. I think you would definitely see the finish. It looks like it has a glow to it, which might be really, really beautiful. So I wanted to test it out, but it was not available at the time I wanted to order it. So I'm watching that one. That's the second thing I'm watching. The third thing I'm watching is something that I've tried to order 3 times now, the Natasha Denona Glam Palette, because so many of you let me know that you thought I would love it, and plus that would be a great comparison to other products that I love. And after I looked at it, I completely understand why it looks like something I would love. The tones are neutral, they're on the cooler side. They look like a lot of products that I love, that I would love to compare with. So the first order was when it looked like it was in stock in store. So I purchased it to pick up later and they canceled my order saying it was not in stock. Okay, so then I checked and I thought, oh yeah, it is out of stock now. And then the second time I saw it available again, I tried to order it. It got canceled. So this time I called the store. I said, I tried to order this, but it says it's no longer in stock, but it says it was. I just want to make sure. They checked. They said it's accurate. It is not in stock. Then I went and I checked again the next day and it said it was available again. So I tried to order it. It was canceled. It was not available. Finally, I went in store today. I checked. It is not available. So I've tried and tried and tried to order it. If it does become available before the end of the sale, I will pick it up. So those are 3 things that if they come back into stock, by the time the sale is over, I will pick them up. Now for things I did pick up. I picked up the Gucci lip shade, I think in Rosewood, something like that. I'll list it below. That is on the way, really interested. That kind of had mixed reviews. Some people said they liked it, some people didn't really love it. So now I'm really curious what I'll think. I'm not quite sure about the formula itself anyway. I don't love, like I said, liquid lipsticks to begin with, so we'll see. The next item is because of a video I was watching. A dermatologist was talking about SPF, and actually it was about hyperpigmentation and melasma, and saying that SPF is so important, and that's completely how I've been doing things, is protecting my skin as much as possible. And they talked about a tinted SPF being even more effective. Now, I didn't read the details or listen. I think I fell asleep. But I want to read more about this. So instead of just a regular SPF, I wanted to find one that was tinted. So I went with the SAIE tinted, Slip Tint Dewy Tinted Moisturizer. I'm a little bit not sure about the dewy part, but we'll try it. SPF 35, because this also is clean. It says light coverage, but it has SPF. It won the Allure 2021 Clean Beauty Award, but there was something in here that was interesting. It's the licorice root extract. It helps to brighten the overall appearance of skin. So that's what I was really interested in as a skincare product. So if I can get SPF and brightening, that is a magic kind of combination for me. So I wanted to try it. I picked it up in 3.5. I had a chance to swatch it in store. So 3 actually was the match when I looked online, but it looked way too light. Although they said the range is quite broad, but I thought 3.5 might be better. 4 was definitely going to be too deep, so I knew right away that I didn't need to go any higher than that. So 3.5 we're gonna try. So excited about that one. And then another SPF product is something I keep talking about and finally picked it up. The Ilia, let me just check what it's called. The Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint SPF 40 Foundation. They had new testers out. So I think part of the issue that one of you let me know, you had the same exact experience where I swatched about 5 shades and they looked all exactly the same. I don't know what was going on, except the testers were broken. So that might have been part of it, that I wasn't getting the true color because it was only the top part of the tester, not the dropper part. That was the part that was missing. So I thought maybe that was the issue because this was a new tester today. It was like a fresh one they had recently opened. So it did have the dropper. I swatched it. I let it settle in for a moment and I thought, okay, maybe this is the right shade. So I went with Paloma. So we'll be trying that one out as well. Excited about that because the texture was different this time as well. It didn't sit on the skin like it did the first time with just like the teeny tiny little applicator that was broken. So hopefully this will work. We'll see. But again, it has that combination of SPF plus tinted. So we'll see how that one works as well. And let me know if there's anything else I should be picking up, anything that you loved from your order that you think I would like. Please let me know in these last few hours of shopping. Okay, let's talk about items that I picked up and if I loved any of them. So the first one was this True Skin Serum Foundation. It's very much a serum foundation, even more lightweight than something like the No. 1 de Chanel, which is quite lightweight. This was more sheer. And let me just check the claims on this one. This is a clean beauty product, if you were wondering. I have mine again in the shade Bone, and I think the shade was really good. I think it was the best shade I probably could have gotten. It says medium coverage. It was more of a sheer coverage. It was medium once it was built up, but I don't think it built up as seamlessly as other foundations that I've tried. I would use this as a sheer coverage. It works more like a natural finish that way. It started to look a little bit makeup-y when I tried to build it up. So that's why I would avoid building this one up, but it works well with concealer. So I liked the finish. It dried down nicely, so it feels really comfortable on the skin. It does have niacinamide, visibly smooths and refines uneven texture and tone. It has allantoin, which soothes the look of irritation and redness while supporting skin's health, and aloe calms, nourishes, hydrates, and adds a featherweight feel. And it does feel really lightweight. Nice, lightweight foundation. And onto this powder, the SAIE powder. It was very nice, a little bit more reflective than I thought, but it's very translucent, more translucent than the RODIAL glass powder. But I think it turned out nice. It did look more powdery, oddly, here. I don't know if that was the foundation grabbing it though, so I have to play around with this a little bit more, but it was very nice. I'm gonna see though, let me swatch for you really quickly, the SAIE, I just don't wanna say this incorrectly, translucent first. You'll get to see how reflective that one is. Sometimes it's nice to see it with a flashlight so you can see all of the particles in there. So maybe I'll do that as well, just so you can see the difference. And then that's next to the RODIAL glass powder. And the RODIAL glass powder has more of a smooth finish on the skin. It's more perfecting. It does cool down foundation a little bit compared to the SAIE foundation. Did I say foundation? Powder, sorry. It cooled down the overall look of my skin versus the other one, which is more translucent. And then I also wanted to swatch for you Candlelight by CHANTECAILLE, just in case you were curious about that one and how it compared with the other two, because they are all quite lightweight, have a little bit of a reflective quality, and they're really nice on the skin, especially I think if you have more dry skin, these might be good for you, any of these powders, but then you'll get to see the difference in their reflective properties. So that one's a nice one. I've got to work it out though and play with it a little bit more just to see how much I love it, but right now I like it. It's very nice. Then on to the Tom Ford eye product. Very nice. If you love one and dones, this is a great one. I love the shade here. I don't think I need the other one. It's just gonna be too warm for me and I think get lost on my eyes. That's why I go with more cool colors, because there's a nice contrast between my skin and the actual color of the product. This is lovely, really easy to work with, more of like a moussey kind of texture. Not as dense as I thought it was gonna be, but really pretty. And then I liked this, but I would like a a little less sparkle. It was nice though that it brought out the lid. I might go in with something more like this Chanel product on top, the Ombre Lac, this Lumiere shade from, I think it's a Holiday, number 46. I might put that on the lid instead to work with this. I think that's how we would use this product. But very nice. I would recommend a pencil type brush though to apply this, especially in the crease. Either the ROEN brush that I cannot find or this IT Cosmetics brush was really nice as well. No creasing on this. Let me just double check. Yeah, I do not have creasing with this product. It's very nice. For the blushes, this is lovely. I would probably wear this most likely with a no foundation look, just concealer like that All Hours concealer, and then just go on top with this. I think it's a really beautiful, just melds with the skin kind of blush. Lovely. I just wish they had more colors that were more subtle because it seemed like they jumped really quickly to bright or deep colors. So some more in between would be really nice. Like I would love a pink version of that, but the one that I looked at looked like it sat on the skin versus this one, which melded with the skin really well. And then we've got this Valentino blush, really beautiful. I loved the finish on it, really pretty. And I think worked really nicely with a cream product, of course, underneath, but I love the glow of this, really subtle, skin enhancing, doesn't enhance texture at the same time. So it's one of those kinds of beautiful blushes. We'll see how much I use this and how it compares with something like the Clé de Peau blush. Kind of reminds me of it. So we'll see how much I like it. But I'm interested in a pink version of this more subtle shade. Let me know what that is if you have it, because I can't tell online what the colors really are. So your recommendation will really help if you have this in a pink, like a light pink cool shade. And then finally the lip, what a beautiful red. So I have a video coming up where I talk about one of my favorite red shades, but it's limited edition. This might be a dupe for it. You'll see what I'm talking about. I'm actually gonna swatch it against the Clé de Peau 103 Legend at that time to see if these are dupes or how closely related they are, because this one is a really beautiful one. So thank you so much for the recommendations if you recommended any of these products, because that's why I purchased them. They were either, not all of them, but some of them were recommendations and some were requests because you wanted to see the products in action. So thank you so much for sharing what you love, because I can see why this lip is really beautiful. It's one of those ones that has the ability to enhance the entire complexion. Yeah, I think reds are really special that way. Not all reds do that. Some reds that really strike that balance between cool and warm, not being too cool, not being too warm, tend to do that and are really quite stunning. So this one is a really pretty, pretty red. Let me know again if there's anything else that I should be picking up in the last few hours of the sale. I'd love to know. But that is it for today's video. So please take care of each other. Stay well if you enjoyed this video. If you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time.